Hello, you're watching News Mongolian MNB World. I'm your host, Erin Basanko. Our top stories. Contemporary jewelry exhibition is on display. Parliament of Mongolia ratifies amendments to the Montreal Protocol. Daily updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health and the National Center for Communicable Diseases provided its daily updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia.
The Ministry of Health today reported that 3,282 new COVID-19 cases were detected after tests were carried out at PCR laboratories across the country. One person, all with underlying health conditions, died of COVID-19 complications in the past 24 hours. All new cases are of domestic transmission, 2,150 out of which were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar, and the remaining 1,132 were confirmed in the provinces. 10,080 COVID-19 patients are being treated at hospitals nationwide. Additionally, 52,044 patients are being treated at home. Among the COVID-19 patients being treated at hospitals nationwide, 3,202 are showing mild symptoms of illness and 77 are in critical condition. As of now, around 2.17 million people have had 2 doses of COVID-19 vaccine, and 30% of the population has received the booster shot so far. Omicron variant outbreak continues in the world, so the Ministry of Health warned that every citizen should be careful and follow the infection control regime. The anticipated COVID-19 peak is to be reached around Lunar New Year, hence officials warn the public against the risk of getting exposed to the virus, and it is advising people not to celebrate the holiday widely.
Thank you for staying with us on MNB World. Now let's look at Mongolia's current affairs.
On the occasion of the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Mongolia and Republic of Chile, that was marked in 2021, the embassies of two countries co-organized a podcast contest on My Imagination About Mongolia and My Imagination About Chile. The contest was aimed at promoting the friendly relations and cooperation between Mongolian and Chilean youth. The winners of the contest were announced. Students of the University of Chile, Fernanda Reyes and Hokin Sais, who pointed out the similar sides and differences in the histories, traditions, societies, and cultures of the two countries, won the first place in the My Imagination About Mongolia category. And students of Latin American School of Medicine, Tumundimbril and Carlos, who won first place in the My Imagination About Chile category. Also Irten, who is majoring in Spanish, studies at the National University of Mongolia, and Burunjaral, student of the National University of Mongolia's School of International Relations and Public Administration, were the contest's second and third place awardees.
At the plenary session of Parliament held on January 18th, the draft law on ratification of the amendments to the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer was discussed. In 1996, Mongolia acceded to the Vienna Convention for the Protection of the Ozone Layer and the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer. The production and use of hydrofluorocarbons, which are highly harmful to the ozone layer or have the ability to deplete the ozone layer, are now 99% obsolete. The Montreal Protocol and Kigali Amendment will reduce the production and consumption of HFC by 80 to 85% by 2045, implementing the Paris Agreement to prevent global warming from reaching 1.5 degrees Celsius since pre-industrial times and creating a legal framework to reduce their consumption. To date, 126 countries have acceded to the Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol. Therefore, in order to fulfill its international obligations and contribute to reducing global warming, Mongolia has drafted a law to ratify the Kigali Amendment. The draft law was finally approved by the majority of Parliament. Prominent Mongolian artist Sarantastral has opened her first contemporary jewelry exhibition out of the comfort zone. She says the exhibition is the fulfillment of her childhood dream.
Combining diligent art techniques with her mischievous sense of creativity, artist and sculptor Sarantastral has created one-of-a-kind jewelry pieces. Her art jewelry incorporates a variety of materials, such as stones, gems, metals, seashells, wire, wood, and even parts of children's toys. Through this exhibition, Saransatsralt sheds new light on the traditional concept of jewelry through mixed media art techniques. With her use of a variety of original elements, shapes, and forms, she describes the final results as mind-blowing, similar to creating new neurons in the brain. This shift in understanding is why she named her exhibition Out of the Comfort Zone.
In contemporary
Everything surrounding us has its own value, but our minds categorize them as valuable or cheap. The prevailing idea of the 21st century is wholeness, a union. We can express ourselves with anything available to us.
For Saransatsralt, art jewelry is wearable sculpture. Every piece holds special value because it's unparalleled and embodies the artist's ingenuity. Art jewelry also has the potential to reflect the wearer's attitude, worldview, and emotions.
When it comes to art jewelry, the wearer's feelings are the main focus. The goal is not to make someone beautiful to others, it's all about the feeling one gets from the jewelry when looking at it and wearing it.
The rise of contemporary art dates back to the end of World War II. It defies conventional beliefs and precepts, and revolves around the concept of nowness. What is here in the moment? What is true in the moment? This quality is also infused in contemporary jewelry. It took about 6 years for Saransatsralt to collect the materials for the art jewelry in her exhibition. She spent 3 years creating a collection of around 1,000 pieces, and she put around 700 pieces on display. Out of the Comfort Zone opened on January 15th at the gallery in Hambank Tower and is free and open to the public through February 15th.
Now let's look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Following this, let's tune in for our regular feature on sports. ESPN updates its top 100 list on Wednesday, and Inhingot Mike Sheriff-Jones, the only recruit in UD's 2022 class, moved from unranked to 100. Inhingot, who plays at the International Sports Academy, will play for NCAA basketball team from Dayton University's Dayton Flyers next year.
Jens Adam Finkelstein listed Mike Sheriff-Jones at 2-meter 81-kilogram forward at the International Sports Academy in Willoughby, Ohio, is one of the players in the class who has most improved in his stock. Sheriff-Jones first appeared on our radar this summer when playing alongside more high-profile prospects like Reed Shepard and Gabe Cupps on the Midwest Basketball Club that was one of the most collectively skilled and unselfish teams of the summer, Finkelstein wrote. This winter, though, he has been more of a focal point for ICA and demonstrated a very rare combination of size and passing ability. Simply put, his feel for the game is absolutely off the charts. Whether he's operating as a big point guard of sorts or playing off the ball, his floor vision and basketball instincts are obvious. As he continues to build up his body, his game is only going to continue to emerge, projecting out a couple of years as part of a young and talented Dayton core. He could become a star in the Atlantic 10. Sheriff-Jones committed to Dayton on December 15th. He played at the Flying to the Hoop at Trent Arena in Kettering last weekend. He had 16 points in an 80-54 loss to Linky Academy of Branson on Friday and had 19 points on 8 of 18 shooting with 4 rebounds and 3 assists in a 74-71 victory against Shaker Heights on Sunday. Mike Sheriff-Jones averaged at 10.5 points, the third best total on the team in 19 games in the 2018-2019 season. Legacy Christian finished 20-4 and won the Metro Buckeye Conference Championship.
PUBG Mobile Esports is hosting their biggest event till today with a multi-million-dollar prize pool. The stalwart esports team will represent Mongolia in the competition.
PUBG Mobile Global Championship is the pinnacle of PUBG Mobile esports, and top teams from around the world will be fighting for 3 days to win the biggest share of $3.5 million prize pool. The teams will play a total of 18 games over 3 days and will be ranked by points, with the highest scoring world champion receiving $1.5 million. The second place is $600,000 and the third place is $300,000. Mongolia's youth esports took third place in last year's PUBG Mobile World Championships, which is being held for the second time this year. PUBG Mobile Global Championships 2021 was initially divided into two phases due to the prevalent pandemic conditions. The league stages ran for almost a month, and then league finals for Eastern and Western regions were hosted separately. The top 9 teams from the Eastern Finals and top 6 teams from the Western Finals have qualified for the Grand Finals, and the last slot was reserved for Indian contenders that will win BGIS 2021. The stakes are very high at PUBG Mobile Global Championships Grand Finals, as the winner will walk away with a humongous amount of $1.5 million.
And here's the weather forecast for major cities around the world. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for staying with us on News Mongolia. See you next week with more stories and updates. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.